The lighting is really working for this video. Hey everyone, welcome to Princess Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to The Strangers Prey at Night. This is a donation award for Venom, per usual, and is the sequel to the first Strangers movie that we reacted to back in February. So it's been about 7 months. Really good amount of time here to leave between them. And I'm excited to see where this goes, because I believe at the end of the first one, the strangers got away. Like, the bad guys succeeded. And that's almost rare that you see that. Usually there's like a final girl slash survivor who gets away from everything, who manages to stop the bad guys or whatnot. And maybe there will be like a little twist at the end where the bad guy is revealed to still be alive. That's how a lot of these end up going. But in the strangers, the titular strangers, the three of them, just they got away. And I believe they actually like had an interaction with like some kids or something at the end too. But yeah, it was wild, it was shocking, it was a lot of senseless violence. And I mean that in regards to how the strangers attacked. There was absolutely no reason for anything. They were attacking, they were, killing people just because they could. It was senseless in every sense of the word. And that kind of leads to an interesting viewpoint as well, because there's a lot of villains who have reasons. Like, you could look down on it, and even like villains, horror movie villains like Freddy and Jason technically have reasons for doing the killings and whatnot that they do. But sometimes you just get some horror villains who are just, chaotic evil. They just do it because they can. Villains like Art the Clown is a great example of that. And the strangers are within that category as well. So I believe there's a third movie that just recently came out as well. Let me check up on that real quick. And I haven't heard anything one way or the other about it. Yeah, The Strangers Chapter 1. It just came out this year, back in May. And based on the title, I assume that's probably like a prequel or something. But this one, to my knowledge, is a sequel to the first film. I don't know like how much it's going to have in common. Probably not too much, other than just the villains are the same. But I guess we'll see. Also, like I said in the cold open, the lighting is working out right now because you could tell, a little bit dark in here. Though this webcam is adjusting for the lighting pretty well. This webcam definitely adjusts for lighting better than the old one did. Because the old one, right now, you would be able to see pretty much nothing. Because the deal is, there is massive storm clouds out there. Because it has been raining like crazy. It like rained pretty much all day yesterday, it seemed like, and it was like raining very hard. But on top of it, I think it rained this morning, and I think the rain's mostly been gone since then, but it looks like it's gonna rain again because those clouds are thick. Like thick as Carol from OKKO. That thick. That's how thick those clouds are up there. But yeah, it's probably going to rain again. It might rain while we're recording this, but it's also probably going to get darker. So just warning you ahead of time. But we'll see. So yeah, I'm excited to see what this is like, and I know it's not quite October yet, but we're kind of getting into spooky things still again, kind of going into that horror realm. But to be fair, we react to horror movies all year round. But I feel like I've been kind of like avoiding them the past couple weeks, doing some other movies, but we're getting back into them a little bit here this week. Um, and let's see what this one has in store for us. A good old slasher film with some creepy masked killers. Let's get into it. Cutting in here real quick to remind you of all the awesome content we have on the channel. Between Monday and Friday, we have a plethora of awesome series reactions with 2 on Wednesday. We also have movie reactions every Saturday and Sunday. I do pre-record them during the week, but upload them on the weekend. We have gaming content as well on our secondary channel, Princess of Gaming. Every single day we upload parts of Baldur's Gate 3, and every other day is Horizon Forbidden West. But on Saturdays we also get to Nier Automata. Don't forget to click the link in the description for today's reaction. I redirect everything on the channel just because of copyright. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click that like button. It helps out the channel and allows me to get more of this awesome content to you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let's get on with today's reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So this movie was very tropey, very, stereotypical, standard, a lot of horror classic tropes and stuff used in this. And that's fine. I have no issue with a slasher film including tropey shit in it, as long as it's used to a fun effect. And honestly, I had fun with this movie. I mean, outside of like the jokes and stuff I was cracking, I think it was just fun. It was a fun classic slasher that didn't need to be anything else. There didn't need to be like a super in-depth story. There didn't need to be a lot of heavy motivation or anything to the villains. There didn't need to be a lot of depth to the characters even. With a good classic slasher like this, sometimes all you need is the slasher shit. Sometimes all you need is the fun of watching some psychotic crazy murderers going after some victims. That's part of the appeal of the subgenre for horror, the slasher subgenre. I'm bad at wording things, you know this. That's part of the appeal of it, though. It's like you don't need a lot of heavy depth to it. I mean, that can help, and I'm not saying that movies with that kind of depth are bad, not by any means. But sometimes you can just enjoy a movie that's just fun, that's just ridiculous, that's tropey, and, just some killers going around killing people. I think I like this more than the first one, even. Because this movie didn't take itself too seriously, and I feel like the first movie took itself a lot more seriously. On top of that, I also feel like having this be in more locations, going around this entire trailer park and stuff, allowed for it to kind of have fun with the level of tension and everything, and just, give more excitement and interest to it. So, like, the pool scene alone, best scene of the movie, easily. The pool scene was fantastically done. All the actors did a great job. And like I said during the reaction, speaking of the actors doing a great job, they sold the fear very well, actually. These young actors who played the siblings here sold being, like, freaked out, being traumatized, being horrified very, very well. One of the best scenes in terms of their reactions and stuff was the son's reaction to finding out his mother was dead, and the father having to hold him back and try to comfort him. That was so well done. Like, legitimately. Like, as silly and tropey as this movie could be, some of that stuff was actually just really well done. And like, there's a lot of stuff that you don't really get answers to with this film. You never really find out much of any information about the killers. You only see the face of Dollface. I looked up their names. There's Dollface, Pinup Girl, and the Man in the Mask. You only see Dollface's face. You almost get to see Pinup Girls, but then it's, stopped before she's killed and you never go back to that. And you see a little bit of the Man in the Mask's burnt face at the end, but not enough to really, like, make out anything. And because it's super burnt, it's, like, kind of beyond recognition anyway. And I like that. I like that you don't really find out everything. And on top of that, you never really found out why Kinsey was going to boarding school. Like, you only have the bare basics information on it. It's like, oh, she was trouble, she was causing trouble, she wasn't doing good in school, her grades were bad and everything, she was skipping class. It's like, if that is the only reason she was being sent to boarding school, her parents fucking sucked. Because that's a stupid reason. That's not a good reason to send your kid to boarding school. In my eyes, the only reason you should ever even consider something like that is if your kid is being like an active, like, danger to society, or an active problem at least. Maybe not like danger in terms of like mortal danger or anything, but a menace in some way. Like smashing windows and, lighting, I don't know, bags of shit on fire and everything and throwing them on people's porches. Just shit like that. Where it's like you're actively being a menace to your neighborhood and surrounding area and causing major trouble. Skipping school is not an offense worthy of being sent to a boarding school. Like, what the fuck? Why do you think this is gonna help? This isn't gonna help. That would not help in any way. In fact, if anything, it's just gonna make her resent them more, which is kind of what it was doing. And the only reason she had any level of regret in the end and all was because, they were fucking murdered. It's like, obviously she didn't want them fucking murdered, but she was resenting them. And, like, when they were at the diner, she was standing outside by the truck, and she left when they were in the house and everything. Because their actions had made her resent them. Because instead of trying to help, instead of trying to even figure out why she was acting like this in the first place, they just punished her. And again, it's not like that would help anyway. It's not like that would change who she is. In fact, that might actually make her problems worse. It's stupid. But again, we don't know if like that was the only reason. If there was more of a reason, we're not told on it. And we're never given clarity, one way or the other. As for the kills in this, they weren't the most creative kills I've seen in horror. They were pretty standard. You had the couple at the beginning, of course, which was the aunt and uncle. You had the mother just being, stabbed in the back, basically. You have the father being impaled, but then also, killed with the ice pick. The brother and sister survived, but the pinup girl was killed by being repeatedly stabbed. What's her face? Dollface. Dollface was killed with 2 shotgun blasts. The cop was killed by his throat being slit. I'd say the most creative kill would be the Man in the Mask, and only because it took so much to fucking kill him. Like, seriously, first there's the blowing up the fucking trucks. He survives that and is able to chase her down some more. He gets out of the truck, comes at her, pulls the glass out of himself and passes out. Then he gets up again after this other woman and her son come along. He gets up again and starts like trying to chase her back into the truck, this other family's truck and everything. And it's just like, it takes the baseball bat to the head to finally kill him. It's like, Jesus fuck, this guy just doesn't give up. It's like, I get, like, he's a big guy. He's a big dude, probably very tough, but Jesus. Like, that explosion and being burnt alive really didn't kill him. Also, he wasn't screaming at all, by the way, which makes me wonder a lot. Makes me wonder, is like, is he. Can he speak? Because we heard Dollface speak, obviously. And I believe we heard Pinup Girl speak as well. I think he's the only one who's not spoken. So maybe he can't. Maybe he's mute. It's possible. Maybe that's why he wasn't screaming when being burnt alive. Because, like, Jesus fuck. And it's like he didn't even really make that much noise when he was pulling the glass out of himself. Which, again, that would cause me to scream. Like, I think he maybe grunted and made some noises like that, but that's about it. Really interesting. Now, if the third one is a prequel, I wonder how it's going to end up going. I wonder, like, what it's going to cover, and are we going to, like, learn about these killers? I'm very interested to see. Um, but yeah, I think this was better than the first one, but I did like both. I think the first one just was trying to take itself a little too seriously for my taste, and I think this works conceptually better when it's not trying to take itself seriously, when it's being kind of silly and tropey and ridiculous. Um, so yeah, I had a lot of fun with this. I really enjoyed this film. Um, Not my favorite horror movie or anything, but still. Oh, excuse me. If there's anything I forgot to mention that you specifically want to hear my thoughts on, please feel free to ask. And leave your thoughts in general down in the comments below. And thank you to Venom for donating for this once again. And for now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.